Welcome back to the Navy Sports Magazine. EIWA champion Tanner Skidgel joining us. How does it feel to hear that attached to your name, knowing the prestige and what the EIWA means in the wrestling community?
Definitely feels good. Last year at this point in time, I probably would laugh if you said that, but I put in a lot of work since then, and it's glad to see it paying off.
To that extent, what has been and what's been the key to all of that work that has allowed you to continue this ascent now up the ladder to being an EIWA champion?
Just getting on the mat as much as I can. I have some free periods throughout the week, and I'll text my assistant coaches or I'll text kids on my team, just trying to get on the mat during those periods of time where I'm not doing anything. So whenever I'm about to wrestle, I think back and I'm like, well, I put in so much time on the mat. Like, there's no way this guy can beat me. So it helps with confidence and obviously skill because you're getting all that extra work in.
To that extent, a dual match is easy. You've got all your teammates there. You've got all your full roster of coaches. They're all there with an ability to support you and help you. In this EIWA, and now obviously going to the NCAAs, a little bit different. You don't have as many teammates there. You have coaches that might be spread out because you've got other wrestlers who may be on the mat at the same time. What is that environment like when you're literally going from mat to mat, from time to time, and sometimes it may be just you and one of your coaches as you head into action?
I try to look at it all as the same way. I know when it's a duel, it's easier because you're seeing all your teammates wrestling and the people that are coming up behind you, they're like motivating you too and trying to get you ready. So yeah, it's definitely a little bit different being in a tournament, but I just try to focus on myself in those situations and just try to go out there and do my best either way, because in a duel or a tournament, you're still scoring points for your team, trying to make the team look good. So
Is it easy to self-motivate?
it's definitely not easy. It's probably one of the hardest parts of wrestling. I think I've been doing well with it lately, just trying to get my mind right before my matches, just staying focused and being ready.
Obviously, you're at the end of a very long, grueling year, not just your matches, but clearly all the time you all put in the gym. At this time of the year, is it as much mental as it is physical in terms of that grind right now?
I would definitely say yes. Some people, you see it all the time. People, like, they wrestle really hard and they're really good, but they just can't put it together mentally on the mat. And I think once you get that down, like, anything's possible.
You got a championship attached to your name now. Maybe brings even more attention to you to feel even maybe a bit of more pressure now going into this thing, that people might recognize you even more for your quality and what you've brought to the mat because you've got EIWA champion attached to your name.
I try to think of, like, pressure as something you put on yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm just not going to put that pressure on myself, so I can just go out there and wrestle my own match.
How hard is it when you look at the draw to just simply focus on your first opponent coming up from Ryder and try and take this thing step by step so you can get the best possible finish coming up?
Yeah, so I watched a few matches on him. I'm not too big on scouting and filming. I just I try to wrestle my own match, and I think if I'm too focused on what he's gonna do, then I'll resort to my defense instead of my offense. And
When you go into, I mean, obviously when you go into a match then, is there certain things that you point out from an offensive standpoint? Even you may know a little bit about your opponent, but is there something that you say, hey, here are 2 or 3 things I know I can do, and you try to establish those right away during the course of a match?
definitely, so I usually just tell my small group coach Lloyd to watch some film on him. I might watch a match or so if I know who I'm gonna wrestle the upcoming weekend, and then we'll just, like, work on positions that he's good at, and I'll just, like, defend out of positions. And if he's, like, good at scrambling, I'll work on just finishing my shots right and just making sure I'm doing everything right.
How exciting is it as a competitor? And obviously this is something you've done, obviously within your family for a while. Your brother's a wrestler. To have achieved this level so far, now at least give yourself a chance to potentially be an All-American and an NCAA champion here.
I'm very excited. This was one of my goals was to qualify, but that's not the ultimate goal. I obviously want to get on that podium. I've been telling Lloyd all year I'm going to get on that podium, and he's been believing in me and working with me. So I'm excited. I'm ready to.
Is that good though to feel that confidence? And like last week, as you're going through this thing at EIWAs, can you feel the confidence level rising as you're going step by step and realizing that you're getting closer and closer to a championship? Can you feel that confidence building?
Definitely. I just, it's exciting. Like winning one of those big matches, it's one of the best feelings. You look over and you see your fans going crazy, and you're like, man, I just did that. Like that was exciting. I want to keep doing it.
I was going to say too. I mean, you're not wrestling chumps in the EIWA.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not in some chump conference. I mean, this is this has some prestige to it. To go toward this week now, what would it mean to you to somehow find your way on that podium by the time this weekend is over?
It'd be exciting. I know that I've been on fire lately. I think I've on like a 12-win streak or something. I just won conference. I think if anyone can come out there and be the dark horse, I think it's going to be me.
Why not you, right?
Yeah, why not me?
All right, big fella, congratulations on what you've accomplished so far. Best of luck this weekend in
you.
Pittsburgh.
Thank you so much.
All right, Tanner Skidgel joining us here as he heads to the NCAA Championships on the Navy Sports Magazine.